And then it's your boy Bartley. It's the best day of my life. Tomorrow's not promised. Go ahead and do your little dance while they still playing your song. And while you're doing that dance, go ahead and tap that button, hit that button. Need a little bit more light over here. I feel black. Not black, but black. Darkish almost. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to New York, man. Let's dive off into it. We have a correctional officer by the name of, the brother that was unalive, his name was Robert Brooks. I think this is in New York. The guy that was convicted, David Kingsley. Let's get the details now.
Robert Brooks' final days before his beating death at a state prison last year, part of a day full of testimony in Oneida County Court today. The case with evidence like this brought charges against 10 former prison guards.
Wow.
6 had
accountability.
accepted plea deals. 3 of the 4 left are now on trial, including in Adams van. 7 News reporter Lexi Bruning covering the case in Utica.
It was a day full of testimony that highlighted 2 altercations from the days before Robert Brooks was transferred to Marcy Correctional Facility. 3 correction officers, including Adams resident David Kingsley, are on trial for the beating death of Marcy Correctional Facility inmate Robert Brooks in December of last year. The incident was captured on body camera. In the days before Brooks was transferred to Marcy from Mohawk Correctional Facility, Brooks was in 2 separate altercations with inmates. One on December 7th, where he was taken to the hospital after getting punched in the right side of his face, and another on December 9th, where he was hit again on that same side, despite moving to a different housing unit. Photos showed his injuries. During his testimony, Mohawk Correctional Facility Sergeant David Sayu says when he investigated the second altercation, and when asked if he feared for his safety, Brooks responded, "I'm starting to." Brooks was transferred to Marcy that same day. This trial is a bit different, as each witness will be questioned by all 3 defense attorneys, one for each correction officer on trial. One of the lawyers highlighted that during the second altercation, Brooks had a sock in one pocket and a combination lock in the other. Often used as a weapon, Sayu believed Brooks had it to protect himself. Earlier in the day, DOC's Assistant Commissioner Christopher Marticello was questioned on officers' training, specifically in use of force and duty to intervene. Kingsley's attorney, Luke Niebusch, asked Marticello what use of force was. After giving examples, Marticello explained it should not be permitted before contacting their supervisor. Defense attorneys argued training provided no scenarios.
Hold on, bro. Y'all got this man so hemmed up and he handcuffed. I wonder if I can catch. No, YouTube ain't going for that.
Training provided no scenarios about how to intervene or what to do if the supervisors themselves are in the room. Testimony will continue Thursday morning, and at some point during the trial, former COs who pled guilty in this case are expected to take the stand. Lexi Bruning, 7 News.
The irony of this is that they've turned the police into witnesses on the police. I want to take a little deeper dive. Let's go. I want to see the footage. I really want to see the footage. The monster of Marcy. Former prison guard convicted 9 days ago. Lawyer explains the mixed verdict. Let's see.
Count 1, murder in the second degree, guilty. Count 1, murder in the second degree, not guilty. Count 1, murder in the second degree, not guilty.
Inside an Oneida County courtroom, a mixed verdict in the case of Robert Brooks. For days, both sides were waiting on bated breath to see what the jury would decide.
The longer the jury is deliberating, the prosecution tends to get more and more nervous because why aren't they able to agree? Whether you want to or not, everybody is reading every clue and every tea leaf.
Attorney Aaron Pam watched the verdict and says the split nature shows just how hard the jury worked to determine who bears responsibility and who does not.
The jury here was able to reach separate verdicts for separate defendants and didn't seem to have any problem reaching separate verdicts.
Did you see that? It looked like he kicked that man in the face. Hold on.
Reaching separate.
Video of the brutal beating.
Look at that. That man, you kicked that man in his face. Was that necessary? And he's handcuffed? Oh, y'all should get life. They should prosecute, persecute,
and says while hard to watch, it was insightful to see who was captured doing what.
The jury has to dissect and say what is a normal use of force supposed to look like? And was this some way an excessive or criminal use of force?
He says the video clearly shows David Kingsley, who was convicted, using physical force on Robert Brooks' neck and control over his breathing. But the other officers, Matthew Gallagher and Nicholas Kiefer, who were acquitted, were lower on his body and not using lethal force.
The use of video continues to be such an important...
All right, you know what? I think that anybody that participated ought to be convicted of murder, bro. If you thumped him on his forehead, you contributed. Because when it comes down to if you participate in an act of violence and your role being a minute one, you still reap the punishment of the most involved individual. So that's some BS, but okay.
Part of our investigations and analysis, and almost putting yourself in the room and being able to measure each person's actions. You know, there's no way to know someone's intent inside their head.
That man died.
But by seeing the video, you get as close as we can get.
Hey man, Justly So District Attorney speaks after 4. Let's see what he got to say.
Well, today, some closure in the case that kicked off months of chaos in the prison system.
Even if a true resolution is still a long way away.
Thanks.
In a packed Oneida County courtroom, a step toward justice for the family of Robert Brooks. First up, Nicholas Anzalone taking a plea deal on a manslaughter charge.
Okay, so.
Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, sir.
Admitting his role in the brutal beating of Brooks at Marcy Correctional last December.
Mr. Anzalone, how did you plead that second count,
Guilty.
manslaughter in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
He'll spend the next 22 years in state prison.
What?
Next up, Anthony Farina.
Mr. Farina, how do you plead to that second count, manslaughter in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Pleading guilty to manslaughter in exchange for 22 years in prison. Michael Mashaw also taking the deal. He was the ranking corrections officer in the infirmary who admits he didn't stop the beating or help Robert Brooks.
Having agreed to intervene, you did not order the beatings to cease and delayed ordering timely medical assistance for the deceased, Robert Brooks, until it was too late to save him. You did that to be true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pleading guilty to manslaughter in exchange for 3 to 9 years in prison. David Walters also accepting the plea.
Mr. Walters, how did he plead to that sixth count, manslaughter in the second degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Special Prosecutor Bill Fitzpatrick calling it a day for justice, but also a somber one.
Those people's lives are over. I don't care if they were on the 2 and a third to 7 range or the 22 range. Their lives are never in a sense justifiably so.
But not everyone admitted their guilt. David Kingsley rejecting his plea deal and plans to take his case to trial.
That was probably the kicker.
Kingsley now faces a murder charge, and if convicted, life in prison.
Understanding your exposure, you will not see an offer this favorable again as we go forward.
Michael Fisher also rejecting the deal.
We're formally rejecting that offer already before the trial.
He would have faced 2 1/3 to 7 years in prison, but now faces 5 to 15 years if convicted. That was followed by another plea rejection from Nicholas Kiefer, who now faces a murder charge and life in prison if convicted.
Understanding your exposure is life, you want to turn down the offer of 9 today? Yes, sir.
Matthew Gallagher also rejecting the deal, and prosecutors say they're ready for trial.
We anticipate 4 defendants going to trial, 3 for murder and 1 for manslaughter, and we'll see what the jury says.
Well, sentencing for the officers who pleaded guilty is set for November 21st. Jury selection for the others will begin on October 6th.
Now, the judge is allowing all of them to remain free until those trials next month.
Here's the
Robert Brooks.
Oh, no, that's not what we're doing. In my mind, I always think that your ace in the hole is that shit, Trump might parole you out. I mean, pardon you, give you a pardon, bro. All right, so now found guilty. Okay, so now I get it. Now I get it. David Kingsley found guilty of murder. Okay.
And a rare loss for Bill Fitzpatrick, serving as special prosecutor on this case outside Onondaga County. Despite the 2 acquittals, he'll achieve at least 9 guilty convictions of the 12 officers involved in the beating.
One of those today. News Channel 9's Kendra Broadus focuses on the verdict against David Kingsley.
As to count 1, murder in the second degree, what is the jury's verdict?
David Kingsley watched his 2 co-defendants, former co-workers, walk free. He was walked into custody, handcuffed in front of his wife and the rest of the courtroom. The jury convicting Kingsley of murder and manslaughter, both charges against him, for his role in the beating death of inmate Robert Brooks. Much of his violence caught on camera. First, jail. Then the 45-year-old from Jefferson County is headed to prison after years of working in one. 25 years to life is the expected sentence.
We went into this case with the idea immediately that 4 people had to be held accountable for Robert's death.
Not so.
All
So
4
they
of
testified.
them will now be serving lengthy prison sentences. Mr. Farina, Mr. Kingsley, Mr. Anselone, and Mr. Walworth.
I asked Kingsley's lawyer, public defender Luke Nabush, for comment. He declined twice. David Kingsley will be sentenced right inside this courtroom later this year on December 16th. In Utica, Kendra Broadus, News Channel 9.
No, not that sound. What is that sound? Go back. We want more. Stop that. That's not what we're doing. All right, go back here. Go back up here. Cause I'm trying to sort of verdict form. Okay, bam. That's 9 days ago. 12 days ago. 9 days ago. 9 days ago. All this is 9 days ago. Okay, 3 weeks ago. Day 3 of Mercy. Try to take on the show. Okay, there we go. Former ones implicates co-workers and right. Okay, he implicated his co-workers.
In the most damning testimony yet, another prison guard involved in the beating of a Marcy inmate implicating his 3 co-workers.
The jury hearing from now former Correctional Officer Robert Kessler. News Channel 9's Andrew Donovan was in the courtroom watching the witness stand.
Robert Kessler's cooperation with prosecutors got him out of the group indictment, but he's promised to plead guilty to his role in the beating in exchange for 5 to 7 years in prison and testifying against his co-workers. Here he is in the courthouse hallway, about to share his side of the story, implicating former fellow officers. Kessler claims Christopher Walworth, the first officer to plead guilty, was the first to attack Brooks right after his arrival to Marcy Prison. And then, quote,
here's the weird part. Had it not been caught on camera, bro, none of it would actually be going in this direction, bro. Rest in peace to that brother, and rest in peace to them shit eaters. It's unfortunate. But they're probably gonna get sent to a sweet camp. Not gonna be a whole lot of pressure. Is what it is, man. I'm out. Y'all let me know what y'all think.